trying this video again. Hey everyone, this is Shannon, the Recyclista. I'm trying this with my iPad because my phone is giving me grief, so hopefully this works out okay. It's kind of awkward, but I'll do my best, and I'll keep it brief. So I mentioned on my blog that I had found some flatware, or I showed you the picture of the baggies, and so I just wanted to show you what came out of those bags. First of all, this pattern is one that I focused in on, and so I bought all the bags I found on the wall that had this pattern in it. It's a Dansk pattern. That one's hard to read, but this one, yeah, it's written right there. It's Dansk. The pattern is called Thebe, T-H-E-B-E, and I've had it before, so I recognized it. Definitely not their best selling pattern, but not bad. And I've got mostly spoons and knives, so I'll just be listing those like in groups of 4 or something like that. And just excuse the condition, I haven't cleaned any of these. These are just fresh out of the bags. This next pattern is, it's not super well known, but it's by Robert Welch. I find that stuff, I don't know, I found it 3 or 4 times. That pattern I think I've found, and then a couple others. Actually just sold some last week, as a matter of fact. Here's a false graph pattern, which can be okay. Unfortunately, this is kind of a lightweight. It's not super sturdy, but you never know. It must be a newer false graph pattern. I didn't see it at first glance on replacements, but I'll figure out what that is, and hopefully I'll at least make more than I paid for it. So this one is IKEA. Now this one I mentioned in the blog. I said that there was an IKEA pattern that I generally look for. Now this is it. It's called Data, D-A-T-A, and you can tell Data out in the wild when you see the kind of, it's very satiny, pretty satiny look. Of course it says IKEA on the back, but the ends kind of curve down a little bit. That's usually what tells me that it's that pattern. So let me show you a contrast. So that bag also had, ugh, these are all dirty, but that bag also had this pattern by IKEA, which might be a little confusing, but if you look at them side by side, let's see, let's get up here. I mean, you can obviously tell the difference, but one's very satiny, one's very glossy. It still has that sleek look, but it's a lot cheaper looking and feeling. So, and the end is straight. It does not curve down. So, anyway, I don't usually sell those, so those will probably end up going back in a lot or something. This was a nice little surprise in that mixed bag of flatware. If you can see it, it's WMF, which is awesome. And it's definitely a pattern I've sold before. Even one knife like that can do pretty well. And then the other couple pieces I saw in that mixed bag were these Twin Star pieces, Oneida Community. So these again are like bread and butter, and so they do really well on Etsy. I'll say something more about that in a minute. But so from that mixed bag, this is kind of what's left. This stuff over here is kind of like, I know this pattern, but unless I have other pieces, maybe I'll mix it with that. There's a bunch of that IKEA. And then over here, these two are Oneida. They might just go in my Oneida box. When I find more pieces, I can add to it. It's kind of a nice little vintagey one that can go in a vintage lot. This one, I don't even know. It looks familiar, but it's a very different kind of knife. So maybe if I can figure that out, I can figure out who made it. This is a nice solid Oneida spoon. And then this was in with the Dansk. It looks very similar, doesn't it? But it's also IKEA. But it must be vintage. It's a nice solid piece. So anyway, so what I was saying about the, you know, going out of town and getting out of your little area and seeing new scenery. So I found this flatware, and my thrifts had been pretty dry for flatware. So then look what happened today. I bought all that flatware. I went to my local thrift, and look what I found. Oh my goodness, I had to buy a basket to put it in. So this is all Twin Star, which is awesome, just bread and butter. Now the bamboo, I've mentioned that before, bamboo sells. It's by Oxford Hall. And then we have this fun little floral pattern, vintage, that's by Interpure. So I got a few pieces of those. I think there's a couple other odds and ends, but it's like a major score. It's awesome. See, you got to break out of your rut, go someplace different, and somehow then the floodgates open up back where you are too. Alright, that's it for Flatware today. Let me know what you thought, if you've sold any of these patterns before. Also let me know if there's any Flatware questions you have or anything you'd like to see on a future video. Thanks!